Well, we're at last on the last lap, and of course the trouble is I keep getting other ideas. So this has always been the third spaceship, and the whole idea is it makes the whole thing work. And I had this old cutout. This is just a bodged up shape, and as you can see, it's like a photo montage. But I do that sometimes, and then of course I do things like this. I think, well, that would be fun, or it could be there, or it could be here. So there are many permutations. It might be that I repaint this whole bit here further over and put another spaceship in here. So one picture leads on to the next. But the important thing is, this is going to guide how I do the third ship. And you see, it's a bit monochromatic. So blue, and this is my favourite blue, is going to be the dominant colour there. And that, of course, will make it stand out. Years and years ago, when I started doing book covers, I was fascinated by supermarket displays, and particularly the cereal packs, because all the stuff in supermarkets is shouting for attention, and particularly the cereal packets. And I noticed that, for example, yellow was a predominant colour in those days. So the brightness of the packaging was a guide to the way I painted. So this is going to be blue, and these are my lovely colours. This has saved my life. A while ago, Winsor & Newton invented this Griffin Orchid oil paint, I think about 10 years ago, and it's a quick drying oil paint. And I found if I mix a bit of liquidizer with it, it dries. It can dry overnight if you put the right ingredients together. And of course, it's got that lovely flexibility that acrylic has not got. And of course, the problem with acrylic is it dries too quickly. You're always putting retarder with it to try and slow it up. So I now have a technique of basically building the whole painting up with Griffin, and because I'm not pushed for time, it can have a day to thing. And then this is the blue. This is absolutely my favourite blue. This is lovely, lovely phthalo blue. It's a very funny name. It's cycassolin blue, and I use that all the time. I absolutely adore it. So I've got a basic palette mixed up here, and I'm going to...
Tell us about the mask, Dad.
Well, it's all masked out. You see, it's got this main overall mask on, which means even if I'm sloppy, I can't damage the background. So that is going to live there until I've built up the spaceship quite a lot. Then that will come off. And of course, we've got another mask, which is there to go on top of the spaceship, so I can airbrush around it or whatever. So I'm now going to start. And I'm going to put in all the dark bits first. I've diluted it quite a lot. Doesn't need to be as dilute as this, but it gives me a bit of flexibility, you see. So look, just a very diluted. Now that will be dry by the morning. And in fact, I can give it a bit more paint there, like that. Now that will be dry by the morning, and then I can go on with it. So this is what I do, just dot in the rockets first. Gives it a whole bit of structure. So that's the rockets. Then that was a funny little gizmo, and I don't know what it is, but it intrigues me. And then of course you've got the windows. I think they would be dark. We'll put them dark at the moment. I like them dark, it looks nice, doesn't it? So there's that bit. Then, bit of this. Now, I think I'm going to go straight into putting, you see the beauty of doing a bit of research, if only I listen to my own advice. You see, that blue looks quite nice. And look, you could have that blue stand out against the background. Now, I've just got to debate how much of the blue to put in. I think I'm going for broke. I think I'm going to make this up here blue. Now this is where liquid comes into its own, because all I've got to do is add a little bit of white and I've got the highlight. Look at that. It just merges in so nicely. And this of course is the undercoat. When I put the top coat on, it'll be much smoother, but this is what I love. You see, you can sort of do this with acrylic. A more skillful artist than me can do it with acrylic. You know, I used to work in an agency when I first started, and the real